Good afternoon.
Ding, 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 ding.
Refresh your browsers, y'all, because today is Wednesday.
Short week, y'all.
December 21st, 2011, and you are listening to Room 3026 Live.
Live.
Episode 426, a 60-minute conversation ranging from technology to pop culture. And I'm your host, Damond Nollan. We are broadcasting live. Right here in Durham, North Carolina. It is lunch hour.
It's an empty place that we call
The Onyx Tower.
It's empty, dude. Ghost town.
Today my co-host is Mr. Derek Brinson.
Properly addressed as the world's funkiest man. Stay funky, my friends.
As always, we encourage listener participation. That means you can join the conversation by calling us via the telephone at 646-929-2689. Again, that's 646-929-2689. You can also join us via Skype or Google Voice if you have that as well. Or you can chat with us right now at the chat window found at blogtalkradio.com/Damond Nollan. Also want to give a special thanks to Mr. Darren Tyler for providing our theme song.
Boy, wonder funky.
It's entitled Without You,
To which your head currently bumps.
which reminds me that without you, we would not be where we are today. So thank you.
Thank you.
Let me turn to the chat room and say hi to those who are with us right now. We got Alan Tran,
The victorious
man. We don't have to add all that.
Well, you could have added the world's funkiest man, so we're even.
We also have Dyslexic in America. That's LL.
LL is funky.
We also got Ego Ant,
I should know.
our brother from the north,
Canada? Oh.
Canada. We also got Eileen Smith in the house.
Who we love.
How goes it, Miss Eileen? Now,
Yes.
we are, as you said earlier, are going to have a short week.
It is. We have shortened the week for all intents and purposes now, dude. It is Ghost Town. I am doing a site-wide search and replace for our area code within the parentheses to take out the parentheses and replace it with a dash. That is the kind of leisurely exercise. Well, it's cool because I get to work up my regular expressions, chops, and some new tools and stuff to efficiently and effectively do this job. Regex is some dangerous stuff. You can go and accidentally search and replace something that might not should have been replaced. You can do it.
Yeah, be mindful because you can change. Like, what happened? What's going on?
Well, you start explaining what happened was, and you start the sentence with start the phrase with regular expressions, and you just get that glazed over, glossed over look. I've done it. I've done it a time or two.
Definitely. Well, as I cautiously go into the rest of this week, let me just say that we are excited to have you here, even though we know it's a holiday for many of you. Some of you right now are probably sitting back in your homes, in your comfortable chair, listening to us.
I will be joining you very shortly.
Very shortly indeed. So yeah, after tomorrow, we will no longer be in the office.
Gonna be literally phoning it in.
That's right. So,
We proverbially phone it in from time to time.
we do, yeah. Typically around those holidays and whatnot.
Yeah, sure.
When we are at home. So hopefully we will catch you here as we continue through this week and on to next week. And
Stick around, stay around. Turn on your web radio while you're doing your around the house Christmassy stuff.
Absolutely. So now I'm thinking next week what we could do is talk about all the cool things that people, received as gifts or.
Yeah, that looks good. And there's also the opportunity to do the best of the most. I've got a couple of lists. The most watched 10 most watched videos on YouTube from the last year, and the most retweeted and quoted tweets, and top 10 startups, top 10 failures of the past year. So we've got plenty of time for a year in review. If you're if we don't feel like combing those blogs, I got you.
You
I
got
got your
us.
back. I got your back.
Thank you. Well, let me say hi.
Yeah, Miss Eileen dropped the top 10 YouTube joints. Those will be fun to go over. Yeah.
Absolutely. Let's say hi to Black Bones. He's
What's
in
up,
the
man?
house.
Good to see you again. Good to see you again.
Bob H is now
What's up,
in here, and
I guess
who
we
else
get to
came in?
officially call him a repeat offender.
That's right.
Black Bones. I guess you're on the list of
You are.
You're on the list of prospects.
You definitely are.
You're next, bud.
I'm going to assume that as early as this telephone call has come in, this is probably going to be Mike Render.
Yeah.
But let me just double check to see. So I'm going to the phones.
Mikey Mike.
439.
No, it ain't Mike Render. It's
Oh.
Tim Arthur.
Tim,
what number is this? Is it your office number?
This is my home number.
Oh.
dude,
I am calling
Commissioner
in from
Gordon
my easy
access.
chair.
Okay, let me write this down. So I can-
Commissioner
oh,
Gordon
this-
access,
oh,
dude.
Yeah,
I
okay.
I am in my easy chair,
Dude.
Say.
So, yeah, easy chair.
Is that to say that you're taking it easy?
The home life. That's great.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you're
lucky
taking
you.
it. All right. So your easy chair means that you are indeed taking it easy, or is that just me?
No, I'm just being figurative.
Okay. Cool. Cool.
I'm home for the holidays at this point.
Excellent. Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations.
I'm
Tim.
jealous. I'm jealous, but only for now.
Yeah, congratulations, man. You get to be at home.
Who more deserving? I think. I mean, I don't know, but I'm just guessing.
Good stuff. We are going to have a great show, I can tell, just by looking at the people who are here. Whenever you get some really good people in the room, I know it's going to be an awesome show. So we are going to we're going to get to all those great topics as the show progresses. But don't forget, if you are sitting there at your desk or at your home, and you can go into Facebook, our Facebook page, vote on your favorite topic of discussions for today.
Come on down, get on
And if you don't see one that you like, well, just add one. Add one. I see that's what Leon did. Just add one.
Yes.
And obviously the most popular one is where we will start. All right. Let's see. At 4 minutes in, why don't we let us
What you got in mind?
go on into Daily Booth.
Sure.
I don't have Mike here. So, by the way, if you don't know, Mike's not here.
Oh yeah. Mike's.
Mike's traveling.
Yeah, he's doing well. Yeah, he's not quite like Tim Arthur, but he's.
Yeah, but he is. He's definitely. He's traveling. He's doing something. So we are
That's
looking
whatever
for him.
Mike does when we
whatever.
look
Yeah,
at
when he's not here, we don't know exactly what he does, but he
we
does
watch
something. I can't figure out what that is exactly. Tim Arthur, are you on your phone, or this is your phone? This is not your radio phone.
This is my home phone.
Gotcha. Okay.
Right.
See, Tim has like this. He has this professional setup at his house. I mean,
What you mean?
it's very much like what we have here at the office.
Right.
But he has one of these in his growing studio.
I do too, but I haven't got my phone or internet stuff connected directly to it, not just yet. I mean, as there's been really no need. Most of my stuff is just music making stuff.
Yeah. Well, I can see that. I don't have one of those yet.
What's stopping you?
Well,
it's not money. Oh, I know why.
yeah. He ain't trying to pay. He ain't trying to pay. He ain't trying to pay.
He
y'all.
ain't trying to pay. He's a very frugal man.
I said we got one here. Why should I have to pay? We got one here.
You don't have to. I mean,
You know.
You just pay for these conveniences that you want. That's a feature, man. That's a feature.
I just go hang out at Tim's house.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Yeah. Say Tim, he got one. We'll just go hang out at his.
I get that.
Okay, so let's go take some pictures and see what you guys are doing. So pull out your cameras, y'all.
What it look like?
Let's do Daily Booth.
What are you wearing? Take pictures.
Daily Booth is where we go to
Daily Booth.
take pictures. You can take a picture with your cell phone. You can take a picture with your webcam. Or you can just upload a picture. It's a free website. You can go there right now. It's www.dailybooth.com. After all these episodes of doing Daily Booth, you'd think we would get at least a kickback. But no. We are not one of those top folks just yet.
Well, I don't know. Maybe it's because we haven't asked you. Hey,
I might just
Mr.
go talk to them.
John Q. Daily Booth, sir, give us some money.
At least give us some like free T-shirts or
Give us
free
some-
pillows
Give
or
us something. Give us
something.
Show some love.
Something.
What's
How
wrong with
about
you?
give Derek a new camera for his computer? Something.
One that really does work with Windows 7. Not one that says it does on the box and doesn't really do that.
I want you to come out here and test it on his machine to make sure it works.
Yes. If anybody could do it, the people at Daily Booth probably could. After all,
I'm sure they could.
that's their bread and butter.
That's what they do.
Right.
Okay, so let's go to Daily Booth first. I see that Bob H has taken a picture and shared his URL with us right here.
Posted his URL up in the chat room.
Yeah.
That's nice.
So
That's
let's
nice.
go see what he's up to. He says, "Oh, it's Incredible Hulk." Oh, I'm sorry. No.
I see what you did there with the humor of the flip flop and the misdirection and the Jello pudding pops.
He says, "I am preparing for the last minute Christmas shopping."
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a game face
Yeah.
proposition. I get that.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely correct.
Mm-hmm. That's the Hulk game face proposition. I get that.
Yeah. See, I'm with you. I'm one of those guys that still hasn't done the shopping.
Okay.
So because we don't work on Friday, I'm already planning my day out, my weekend.
Me too. I didn't know. And see, you gave it away. Baby, turn your web radio down. See, she thought I was going to go to work. I was going to get up and get dressed as if to go to work and, well, get my Christmas shopping done. But now that you've given that little secret, turn your web radio down, baby. Damon's trying to get me in trouble.
Well, what I was saying was, since I don't work on Friday,
Hypothetically, you mean?
right? Hypothetically, wink,
If you
wink,
were not working on Friday,
then
by
I would
chance.
be potentially
yes,
at a store somewhere, probably getting those last minute items that
they're all last minute items
yeah.
for me.
And I'll even wait until Saturday.
Ooh, that's manly.
You know,
I mean, I've done it.
I've even done it to the point where I've basically slid under like the baby's eyeball. As they were waking up, I was just putting the last present out. Like I just finished taping it.
See, procrastination.
Yeah.
That's generally.
But it's so exciting.
I get that. That procrastination
You
is
don't get
generally
that.
my game. That's
Yeah.
That's highly out of character for you, dude.
Well, you know, I have my patience though. See, that's the part is that if I wrap it, then I want you to open it. That's my problem. I want if I wrap it, I can't put it in my closet or put it in those other secret hiding places that the kids don't know about.
Kids, turn your web radios down.
Then I'll tend to give it away. I'm like, oh man, there's that present I just want to give away.
I see. So it's still very much that okay.
Yes.
So it does, in an unconventional way, it still kind of stay within your
Exactly.
your very very motivated
Yeah.
character. Cool.
Exactly.
Cool.
So anyway,
Okay.
thank you, Bob, for sharing that picture. And I didn't see yours yesterday, but I see that you have the Christmas spirit.
Indeed.
Very nicely done. He has a picture of himself with the Santa hat on and the workshop.
I have to buy a new Santa hat
Behind
every
him.
year. I cannot find that Joker, man.
So there you go. Yeah, I don't have one anymore. Tim Arthur throws up his picture, and let's see what he's doing. Oh, this is Tim on the phone in his kitchen, I believe, and I think he's at the dining room table or the breakfast nook. I think because they have a big formal table.
I was going to say, you know the layout of his house pretty well.
Well, I've been over there a few times.
Okay.
Yeah, and they keep letting me come back, so I think that's a good sign.
Yeah, no doubt.
You know, I don't. Sometimes I wonder. Some houses like I never get repeat visits. I don't know if it's me or what, but in any case, Tim Arthur there. Thank you, sir, for that. And let us see here. At 11 minutes in, why don't we take a look at some of these articles that you guys write?
We got postesses?
We do. We have two today.
We got postesses.
We got postesses. And we call this one Blog Roll.
Roll in up your postesses.
Yes, y'all.
Rolling.
We call this segment Blog Roll
Postesses.
because, well, it kind of is exactly what it says it is. It's
Blog
where
roll.
we take a look
Yeah.
at what you guys are writing, what blogs, articles, and whatnot you're putting out there into the blogosphere. Today we have two from, we got one from Eileen Smith, and we'll start with hers. And this one is entitled, Overcome the Stumbling Blocks in the Path of Blog Planning. This is one of her guest posts written by Jane, Pro Blogging Success. This one here, it really addresses those of you who are really looking to do the professional blogging. You know, if you're just sort of a
That's
hobbyist,
got to be really, really hard to do.
yeah, yeah, I would have to say so. Yeah, because I still have not gotten to that level where I'm writing like that. And I think that if I were, that's a lot of writing, but I'm okay with that.
I mean, if you're a professional, meaning you get
Well,
does it mean does professional mean that's all you do? Or does that mean you make enough money to say
I'm a professional or I'm professionally? I don't know. I would assume that if it's like your main gig,
okay,
then it's like a professional musician.
I was going to say I'm not a professional because it's not my main gig.
Not to say that you're not skilled at what you do. It's just to say you don't. That's not your main gig.
Yeah, I get that.
It's like a hobbyist.
Yeah, a step
I do it
above.
when I can.
I like to see myself as a step above a hobbyist.
So
I could do it as much and as often as I do it.
So what? Okay, so let's see here. Let's see if we can find a word. What's above a hobbyist but under a professional?
That's a good question.
So TC, what I don't want to do is I don't want it to sound like you're not good at what you do, because you are. But if you don't do this like every day of like your career, then it's kind of like you're not
what is the
quite
difference
there.
between hobbyist and careerist? I mean, there's got to be a word. Semi-pro is how they rate like music gear and stuff. So,
Semi-pro?
Yeah.
Okay. That's a word. Egawant says, what about indie? But does that really count? Like, let's say we were a blogger. Let's say you.
I mean, all bloggers are indie unless you work for like Huffington
a professional.
Post. Yeah.
So when does it become professional then? If you're like indie versus
I think professional to me implies that you're getting paid. Any exchange of money makes you a professional.
Okay. So if you get paid
again, that's
you
get
get paid
me.
from. So if you are a almost professional, you're getting paid from a few people. Does that make you a professional?
I think so.
Or just still the indie? Because you're getting paid.
Yeah.
Right.
But I think maybe the difference between what I do. Maybe is the idea that I don't do it full time.
Enthusiast, Tim Arthur says.
Yeah. But you can be an enthusiast and be not get paid. Yes.
Yeah. I guess that's possible. I'm enthusiastic about what I do, but I'm not that good.
I could be enthusiastic and good and still not be a professional, in as much as I haven't made the exchange of money for my services as part of my goal. I could be as good as a professional. I just haven't set out to get paid for that.
Okay, maybe. I'll go with semi-pro. How's that?
For now. We'll come up with a better one.
Because I'm thinking about football.
Yeah.
Right. Like I know some people who played semi-pro football.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't mean like minor leagues, but I'm talking about like semi-pro, which means they had like other jobs. Like they were firemen, for example, by day, and then they played football at night and on weekends.
I get that.
So I don't know. We'll let that marinate for a little while, and we'll do that. So anyway, This one is called "Overcoming the Stumbling Blocks in the Path of Blogging Planning," or blog planning rather. And what I see here, what this one talks about is, well, how to make those first steps. One of the first items on the list is fear of taking the first step. And here are some steps and some ideas and tips that you can take to take your blog to the next level. Get past the semi-pro. Take it all the way pro. Why not? Let us also check out, Tim Arthur has a blog. Tim, it has been too long, buddy.
Indeed.
Please continue to do what you do, sir.
Come on, get on down.
Get on down the road. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yes.
I apologize. It was getting flashbacks all of a sudden. This one from TimPonders.com, written by our very own Timothy Arthur. King Tim Bada Bim.
King Tim for rap enthusiast.
His blog article is entitled App Review Sparky, the Christmas elf for the iPhone/iPad. Tim Arthur shares what appears to be a new app. It could be a game of some sort. It could be, I guess it's more of a game, I guess is kind of what it is. It's an app for the phone. It's 99 cents. And you can get all the details about this new game. He seems to really like it. And you can even get what appears to be some codes for a special gift. So if you have not done this yet, go right now to his blog. I'll share it with you right here. Go right now to his blog and get one of the 5 special gifts. There are only 5 left assuming no one else has got it yet. So go out there right now. Go get the gift. Do it now.
Do it. Do it now.
That's right.
Do it now.
Here's how you do it. Do it now. Thank you, Tim Arthur, for that. All right. At 18 minutes in, I think it's time that we should probably give you some news that you can use. And we like to call that here at this office Feed Watch.
Feed Watch.
And for those of you that don't know, Feed Watch sounds a little something like this. Feed Watch. So this is where we constantly comb the blogs so that you don't have to.
You're getting much better at that.
We give you the news that you can use.
Why are we doing that?
Because that's what we do.
See, you sound like a wrestling announcer. Biff, the arm was not meant to bend that way.
So you best not snooze. You will not lose.
With the finger in the ear. Nice.
Lest you be singing the blues. Boo-hoo.
Okay. The finger in the ear, I didn't notice. That helps, clearly.
It does. It kind of gets you into character. The Hobbit. Yes, The Hobbit has a trailer debut on Facebook. Coming from Mashable, the Lord of the Rings franchise has released the trailer for its trilogy prequel, known as The Hobbit, an unexpected journey slated to hit theaters next December. That's 12 months from now. Although it's not unusual for big films to be hyped this far in advance, the Lord of the Ring teams have been giving fans incremental treats of behind-the-scenes footage on Facebook for nearly a year. The much-anticipated trailer, which hit the Hobbit's Facebook page late Tuesday night, follows the character Bilbo Baggins, played by Martin Freeman, a hobbit who is swept into an epic quest to reclaim treasure taken by the dragon Smaug. The film stars Elijah Wood, Kate Blanchett, Orlando Bloom, Ian McKellen, Ian Holm, Hugo Weaving, Evangeline Lilly, and others. It's once again directed by Peter Jackson, and the prequel will be made into, that's right, 2 parts. I'd like to, if you don't mind,
Why would I mind?
play just a small clip so you guys can kind of get a sense of this. I'll also share this trailer with you so that you guys can also watch it on your time. But anyway, check this out.
Hit it.
My dear Frodo, you asked me once if I had told you everything there was to know about my adventures. Well, I can honestly say I have told you the truth. I may not have told you all of it.
Bilbo Baggins. I'm looking for someone to share in an adventure.
I can't just go running off into the blue. I am a Baggins. Wait! Of Bag End.
Bilbo, allow me to introduce Fili, Kili, Oin, Loin, Darlin, Balin, Biffa, Boffa, Bomba,
And Boo Boo.
Dory, Nori, Ori, and the leader of our company,
Ray Ray.
Sorin, Oakenshield.
Pookie.
See? I was going there.
Misty mountains cold, to dungeons deep and caverns old. The pines were roaring on the high.
Well, I'm going to let you check out the rest of that, but you can catch that another minute and 32 seconds of the trailer. Looks pretty good.
Does.
By the numbers, what does $40 mean to you? This comes from the whitehouse.gov blog.
Uh-oh.
If the payroll tax cut expires, the typical American family that makes $50,000 a year will pay $1,000 more in taxes in 2012. That works out to about $40 less per paycheck that families won't have to spend on groceries, gas, or medicine. Nearly everyone in Washington, President Obama, congressional Democrats, and both parties in the Senate agrees that we must extend the payroll tax cut to avoid increasing taxes on 160 million Americans on January 1st.
But no, Merry Christmas from the Tea Party. You heard it here.
Republicans in the House, however, are refusing to even vote on a bill to keep the payroll tax cut from expiring.
No.
We ask people all over the country to tell us what a difference that $40 every 2 weeks makes for them and their families. And the answer is clear. American families struggling to make ends meet can't afford to see their taxes go up. Air Jordan 11. you might as well get it now, because when the Air Jordan 11, which is priced at $180, hits the streets in 2 days, it'll sell out instantaneously. Arriving in the iconic black and white Concord colorway, it offers the white nylon upper, black patent leather mid, and the toe box carbon fiber plate and Concord purple bottom of the original. Only 16 years after its release, like we said, line up early. This is Intel's crazy new Android concept phone that has everyone drooling, rather. From SAI, it looks like Intel finally woke up and decided to get into the mobile game. The company, which doesn't have the best track record for making power-friendly mobile devices, has developed a new concept phone and tablet built around its new Medfield processor. Technology Review was lucky enough to get their hands on the prototypes, and they were very impressed. Here's what they learned. It can play Blu-ray quality HD video and stream it to a TV over Wi-Fi.
Wow.
It can shoot 10 photos at 8 megapixels in a burst mode at 15 photos per second. The prototype phone looked a lot like the iPhone 4S, but was built lighter thanks to its plastic body. The concept tablet had the same Medfield chip and ran Ice Cream Sandwich, had a larger screen than the iPad 2, but was about the same thickness and weight. Intel claims its phones will be faster than the top smartphones out there now, yet have much more efficient power consumption. The first device from Intel should launch in the first half of 2012. And last but not least, will Canadians wipe out HIV? Coming from Gizmodo, a team of researchers working out in the University of Western Ontario in London, Ontario, have received approval from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration to begin clinical trials of an HIV vaccine on humans beginning in January. What makes this vaccine different from the handful of others in development around the world is that it uses dead HIV-1 virus in a similar methodology that led to the vaccines for polio, rabies, and hepatitis A. The virus is first produced at special biosafety level 3 laboratories in Maryland and Colorado. It's then killed and genetically modified to become harmless, and a protein found in honeybee venom cultivates it into the vaccine, which they've named SAV001. This is the 4th attempt to produce such a vaccine and only passed the FDA approval, considered the world gold standard, after it passed 230 different safety tests. That is the news that you can use for today, Wednesday, December 21st, 2011.
That last story reminds me of an old joke from one of my famous, dearly departed comedians, Bill Hicks. Man, do you know how America is going to act once AIDS is eradicated? They're just going to act the fool. And without going too deeply into the PG-13 rated content. Yes. I think that's a funny joke.
Yes. Yes. But there's other things that could, that could get you.
Yeah, sure.
Right?
Sure. I'm just saying. It was just reminded me of a stand-up routine that I found particularly funny. Bill Hicks, if you got some time on your hands and you don't know, look him up. He's something very, very special. Well, he was.
All right. Well, don't forget, I just posted the link to our Facebook page. If you haven't voted on your topic of discussion, feel free to go out there right now. If you don't see one that you like, well, you can always, put your own in there.
Come on.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, all right. Yeah. While you guys run over there, for those of you that haven't quite done it, I'm going to play, a soundbite. Somewhat of an announcement.
A promo, as they used to say.
For this
I don't know if they still do
weekend, which is called Tech Monks.
Join us this Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 Pacific, as we record the latest episode of the Tech Monks podcast, discussing topics such as technology, entertainment, and the startup culture. For details on joining us live, visit techmonkspodcast.com/live.
All right. Thank you so very much. All right. It looks like, if I refresh my page one more time, it looks like the beginning topic that many of you guys agree with should be, are you teaching your kids the principles of entrepreneurship or to work for another? That's a very good question.
This subject matter.
I don't
Even though
know.
I'm not a kid person, or I mean, I don't have any.
a kid. Yeah. Well, I will say this, and I'm gonna leave this to you. I'm gonna let you guys marinate on that for a second.
Let me, while you're marinating, let me respond for you, where I say I would bet. Okay, I won't bet the farm, but I'd bet my cat, who I love a lot. I'll bet you're teaching your kids the principles of entrepreneurs. I'll just bet.
Man, yeah. Let me see about that. I'm
Can
trying
we
to
call
think.
and ask him?
Yeah, like he's probably busy right now. They're busy right now.
Right.
I think through osmosis. I don't know. Are they getting what they really need?
But now in retrospect, the maxim that they say about how best to indoctrinate, and we really are talking about that. That's not a bad thing. The way to teach your kids and transfer those values is to be an example for them. So if they're watching you, yeah, you're teaching them. The whole idea of startup culture is something that they'll pick up kind of sort of by osmosis. You know.
Well, that's really my biggest concern. I know we talk a lot about in here about being parents and what our kids are doing and what are they getting and all that. But I want to open this up to you guys as well. What I'd like to do, if you don't mind, give us a call right here at 646-929-2689. If you're a parent, are you teaching your kids to be an entrepreneur, or are you teaching them to be, good employees?
Skype works.
Skype works.
Google Voice works really
Voice.
well if it's a long distance call for you. And you ain't trying to pay.
Okay, we got the noise we get only when the show is over. Okay, hold on. Let's see here.
What?
I don't know. They say refresh.
What happened?
I don't know. They're saying in the chat room that they can't hear.
What'd you do?
Refresh. I don't know. Did we just lose broadcast?
Not a BTR fail.
Yeah, so let's see for a second if they respond. Refresh. There we go. Refreshing, get sound again. There we go. Welcome back, everybody. Refresh.
So you'll just have to pick up the replay to hear that part that you missed. No, we'll go back and
we'll get you for it.
Yeah, we were just saying, call, holla.
Yeah, give us a call.
Give us a call. Google Voice, Skype, call in. Let us know how you might or how you see transferring those values of entrepreneurship versus those values of being a good employee versus being an entrepreneur, or neither, or both. How you handling this? Breeders, call in.
Well,
you see, as a kidless, we get to use the yes.
Well, let me start thinking about am I teaching them? I think when I was young, I don't recall either of my parents ever really being an entrepreneur in anything. They were employees. My dad works for the city of Tacoma. He works on those street lights. So the street lights that are like traffic lights, and then I've also some of the street lights that are on the street to keep the highways lit and the streets lit. So he did that. My mom, she was a nurse, off and on for many of the years growing up, and even still today she's a nurse. And I'm trying to think, how did I kind of get into the idea of business? And I would say early on, I think it was just me personally just thinking, you know what, I really like this idea of a business. I think it may have been early on, cutting grass. I tried the whole iced tea, Kool-Aid, lemonade stand. I tried selling candy in school. And I think through all those things, I realized that you are in control of your own future to some degree. It doesn't mean you're going to be an instant success, nor you're going to be rich off of selling candy per se, but I was able to sort of control my future to some degree. I didn't have to go to work. I could walk around with candy wherever I went, and I made considerable amounts of money. Even in college, I was sort of known as the candy man because I walked around with one of those grocery store carts, those little hand carts, filled with candy. And I made about $1,500 a month in profit just off of candy alone. Just, of course, making sure everywhere I went, I had that little basket with me. Mm-hmm. But
I could see that. I could see a little mini Damond getting down like that.
Qualms at all. No qualms at all. I thoroughly enjoyed the idea of being able to walk up to people and say, hey, look, I got some gum, I got some chocolate, I got some hard candy, I got some what you need, I got you. And I got into a lot of free parties that way because people wanted mints and gum and whatever else, so I gladly sold it to them. So I'm trying to think, how did I get that way? And I don't think it was my mother. I don't think it was anybody directly related to me.
There it is. It goes back to the nature or nurture. Were you somehow just wired that way?
Yeah.
My dad as a psychologist, my favorite thing to say to upset him when he's mad about something I did or something that I am, I get to say genetics or environment, nature, nurture. Either way, I get to blame you. He hates it when I do that.
I get it from my mama or my dad. So I guess the question is, so what am I doing as one parent? What am I doing to kind of help nurture them in that direction? And I think on one hand, it's when we have an opportunity to talk about certain things, I'll ask questions and sort of shed light on what I did. And I also watch closely for an interest in those things. At one point or another, Darius mentioned, my oldest 13-year-old mentioned to me that he wanted to be a cook. Then of course he then switched it up and said he wants to be a ninja. So I don't really know.
I get that. You're young. You get to, in this world, we are changing jobs, careers, whole complete sectors in which we work more and more often during the course of our lives. So, and it makes sense that now kids are also going to change their aspirations even before they get there first.
Right.
There's so. I think we live in a world of much more possibility. Maybe it's just me. Maybe that's the old man thing in my day. ...
Yeah. Well, I don't think he'd be a good employee either, though. So I guess I'm trying to think. How are you going to get paid exactly? I think
that's a skill you develop just like any other skill.
Yeah. Well, when I was his age, and I'm thinking back.
See, you get to tiptoe into the old man pool now.
When I was his age, I remember working. I had a paper route, and I
did.
I realized early on that I didn't like it. And
it's work.
Yeah, it was a lot. I had like 100. I recall I had 100 customers, 110 customers.
Dude,
you got
nothing on the kid,
man. But I had hills.
I had hills. This is North Carolina. I had hills.
I had Washington hills. I had like San Francisco type hills.
Oh, so your hills go both. So there won't no downhill. Yeah. It's all uphill the whole route. I see.
It felt that way.
I understand that. I mean,
once I got to the bottom, I still had to get back to the top.
Yes.
And then the worst part was trying to collect from people. Hey, can I get my money? And then they get mad at you. Like the news people get mad at you because you didn't collect the money. I'm like, look, I'm like 12. How do I get money out of a grown person?
The newspaper guys, they're like drug dealers. They don't care. They just want their money. If you got your newspapers, I want my money.
I'm like, y'all need to send them a letter. Let them know I'm just delivering papers. That was the worst part. I don't mind delivering as much as I collecting
like
money.
Loan sharks. I don't care the reason that you don't have my money. The thing that concerns me is that you don't have my money.
And they took it out of my account. I'm like, wait a minute, that's not fair.
Exactly.
So I think early on I realized, man, this some of this stuff is not right. So anyway, so what am I doing with them right now? I think I'm just watching their interests. What are they trying to do? And I think when they become old enough, and I think they are interested, or if they become interested, I think for me, what I'd like to do is just get them out there where people are doing those things so they can see it for themselves. I'm learning that while dad is important, I am really just a guide through life. Let me introduce you to some people who are doing something awesome, and let them tell the story. Because if I try to tell my story all the time, they get tired and like, oh, Dad, nobody cares about you. They don't say that, but after a while, they get tired of hearing you speak just because you're speaking.
Well, the thing is, you just never know what ends up sticking.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I got to tell you, man. Talking to the old fellow, my dad, which is, I call him the old fellow when he's not listening. So, Pops, turn your web radio down. But that's the thing. for instance, maybe my car was in the shop and he'd be giving me a lift to work or something like that. And we would just talk about some stuff that happened 20, 30 years ago, 40 years ago in my youth. And he would almost have forgotten something that really, I won't say necessarily pivotal, but something that stuck with me, that influenced me, that helped me not make a bad decision that I completely dismissed at the time, and we both forgot about it until just the right time. So you just never know. I said all that to say you just never know what's going to stick when you're interacting with kids. You just never know.
That's true. I you don't know, but I think when I was young, I was very curious. I'd ask 1,000 questions. And I think that's probably why I still ask questions today, because it's the guy who it seemed like when I spoke as a kid, people wouldn't listen. But if I asked the question, then at least there wouldn't be a dead silence in the room. So I remember being curious to a number of people say, hey, so how did you get to where you are? And tell me your story. And I'm really interested in, when it came to business, I was very interested. For my son and definitely my daughters, they're 5 and 3, so they're not doing too much of that right now. But my son, he just doesn't seem to be interested in that right now. His thing, like I said, is being a ninja who assassinates people, which I guess could be a business. I mean, it's a consultant, I guess. You're a hired gunman, really, or a hired swordsman. So I guess that could be a business, I suppose. I guess. So I don't know. What do you guys do? I do realize that my dad, my biological father, he did become an entrepreneur. He's an attorney now, owns his own shop, but I didn't know that at the time. So I don't know if it's in my blood or not, which could be possible. Like you said, maybe there's like I said, it's in the genes.
It can be one right? of two things, or the combination of both. It's either nature or nurture. It's in environment or genetics.
Egoant says that my dot had his own business. I learned the value of child labor early in life. I'm with you on that one. I'm okay with child labor.
Well, it just depends. It really, for me, it just depends.
I don't wash dishes ever since he was born. I said, boy, you better get in there.
On that end of the equation.
Absolutely.
I see.
Child labor.
Right.
Hey, look, man, you live here, right? You got a roof over your head, right?
Carry your weight.
Those dishes aren't gonna wash themselves. Those dishes aren't gonna wash themselves.
That's beautiful.
He fixed it and says my dad owned his own business. Okay, I got you now.
That makes sense.
I was kind of wondering what your daughter was doing as a he.
I was guessing.
Anyway, so that's kind of what I'm working through. I guess we'll figure out. We'll figure out what some of you guys are doing. Feel free to continue to share those ideas.
And thank you.
Yeah, I do appreciate that. I'm going to switch gears for a second and let's talk about something else that you guys voted on. And, well, this is number 2, and I look over at Derek because this kind of fits right in line with something that you might find interesting. What does $40 mean to you?
Yeah. I was wondering if we were gonna.
Well, it looks like you voted on it.
Yeah, I was wondering if we were gonna get to that. $40 depends on who you are and how much you're making. $40 can mean a great deal if you're only making a couple of. If you're trying to get by and squeeze rent out of a couple of hundred a week, man, $40 is the difference between several meals.
That's right.
The thing is,
but that's $40 every 2 weeks. See, I read that in the article.
Yes,
that's for us. That'd be $80 if you get paid once a month.
Man, that is a lot. Everything is going up because our federal government is cutting budgets for a lot of those services that the states used to benefit. Now the states are passing the price. The price increases along to us. The idea that it used to be $5, $10, $15 to get your driver's license or license plate renewed. Now it's $50, $60, in some cases $75. And then that's for stuff that used to be cheap or free. Every state and city is finding new, more or less innovative ways to raise more money because, well, they have to.
Well, so let's look at this from what's happening right now. As we read in the article or in the news you can use earlier, FeedWatch, we realized that if you're making $50,000, then the average would be about $40 every 2 weeks, $80 a month. So you do some calculations to say if you make more than that, then you probably would be paying a little bit more or losing a little bit more.
Yep.
Or if you're making less than that, then you just adjust it likewise. But the reason why this would potentially happen, number one, this is the White House trying to light a fire under the House.
Well,
to say, hey, vote on this already.
I mean, they cut the deal. Mitch McConnell in the Senate and his aides and the House guy, they were actually walking out of the Capitol building, giving each other high fives and stuff. Yeah, we finally got this done. And then the Tea Party said, not so fast. We're not gonna, that stuff that you said that we said that we were gonna vote on. No.
Well, I guess the question that came up last night is, did Boehner actually communicate? Was there a conversation? Was Boehner talking to his caucus to say, hey, is this something that you guys are going to be okay with? Because it's going to come to us next.
Yes, and that is a really that's a wonderful point to bring up, and it's hard to tell. Nobody knows. I think by all indications, maybe Boehner's just not all that good at his job.
Well, I guess I would even go so far as to say, your boys in the Senate, the Republicans at this point, right, said this is the agreement that we're willing to do. Don't you think there should have been some conversations between them in the House to say, hey, you guys gonna be okay with this? Because we're ready to go home.
There has historically always been a little bit of a disconnect between the House and the Senate. I won't call it a rivalry, but look, we're gonna do what we do. Y'all go ahead and handle your business. If you're not gonna pass this, you guys get to face the consequences. We're gonna do it like this because we feel like this is the thing to do. This is the best way to go about handling this. And if y'all don't feel like that's the thing to do, then that's on y'all.
Gotcha.
I historically, and that's again, that's just my interpretation. I don't know, but that's kind of how it seems like. That's how it feels like to me.
Right. Well, I'm looking at this and I'm thinking. So, do you think they're going to get this through?
That's a good question, and the answer is, I don't know. This is a game of chicken. It's
exactly. Who's going to win?
It's hard to say, and I'm of the mindset that either way, unless we the people call them to task for this ridiculous gamesmanship, there may not be a clear winner. It's going to there, but the clear loser is we the people. It has become more and more obvious to me that, looking at the filibuster record and the stuff that they won't vote on, and see, that's the thing. It's not even that they're voting it down. They're voting not to even vote on it. Especially the Tea Party guys that have come in the last couple of years, it has become more and more apparent to me that they are willing to torpedo the economy and anything having to do with the best interest of we the people that put them into office just to win political points. I think it's really easy to see that if come mid to late 2012 the economy has gone down and my life is not better off like it would be if I suddenly have to kick out another $1,000 in taxes, if I don't have another $1,000, that is a whole lot of money that doesn't get to go into the economy. So the economy is going to continue to tank, and it kind of becomes a self-perpetuating machine, and that means that's an L for the president. And I think the Tea Party has made a political calculation that come hell or high water, Obama's got to go down. And they have said as much when they didn't think anybody was listening. And even whether they actually came out and said it or not, that is what their actions have indicated. They are completely willing to torpedo the economy, and that means to torpedo our lives in order to win these political points. that's how it seems to me. That's how it looks to me. This thing quacks like a duck, man.
Well, one thing I saw that's interesting, I heard this yesterday on CNN, is that the president's numbers, his poll numbers, are going back up. He's up in the 50s,
And the economy is going back up slowly but surely.
Yeah.
Don't let them don't let them fool you. The numbers don't lie. We are changed. At first, when after the stimulus took effect, we changed the rate of job loss. The job loss started to slow down. Now we have begun to move into the positive. We're moving into the black. Jobs are returning. We are gaining jobs in the private sector. This isn't just government jobs, of course, which have been slashed over like nobody's business. That's another part of this thing we were talking about earlier, the politics of making things worse, so people theoretically get mad and vote out the incumbent. It may work out, it may not, but the thing is, jobs are now in the black. We're not losing jobs anymore. We're picking up jobs, just a few. Slowly but surely, we're in the black. That rate is increasing. The economy is showing lots of credible signs of picking up, and there are some politically, shall we say, jaded, cynical, scurrilous amongst us that they don't want to see this. It all comes down to what we were saying yesterday. Ideas matter, policies matter. They're not all the same. Your vote matters. You matter.
Well, I am definitely interested to see where this is going to go. Right now, the way it looks, obviously, is that the House Republicans are holding up progress. We could go into, clearly, I was not really happy with the 2-month extension. I would have liked to see us go through the entire year, but look,
it's the same. They've done. This is unprecedented in the history of the American political process. They're just bringing back these arguments time and time again. They keep losing. They keep thinking if they frame it in another way, they'll find some other way to cut Social Security and make this make this thing. They make Social Security and unemployment checks like they did welfare, and make this just a thing for poor people, and so that it becomes politically unpopular. But people ain't buying it right now. Medicare, Social Security, those guys, they aren't adding to the budget, and they are working. They have not failed to write the checks.
Well, I'm looking forward to it, seeing the president's numbers rise into the 50s from the 30s.
I doubt that's going to happen, but I think it's going to.
That's where he is now. He's in the 50s.
Really?
Yeah. He's gone up from the 30s.
Wow, that is a spike.
From 37 to up to the 50s now.
I had no idea. I thought he was still in the lower 40s. I figured if he got to the mid 40s, he's going to be all right.
No, he's in the 50s now.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So whatever's going on, clearly bringing home the troops is a big one. The war is over there.
I am surprised he is not making as big a deal about that as he is. Or it may just be that the news media is just not picking this thing up. Those guys are coming back, by the way, with some really, really substantial skill sets. So a lot of that's what they used to call the brain drain. A lot of those really high level programming and networking skills that we've typically had to go outside the country to get. A lot of these guys are coming back with those skills. They're going to come back and maybe get some really, really good jobs.
Well, there you go.
Ideally.
All right. Well, thank you very much, sir. I appreciate that. Now let me change gears yet again.
Cool.
And let us look at a third topic. Can't believe we finally made to a third topic. Let's look at would you sign up for the HBO Go directly? I don't know.
What do you mean? How as opposed to signing up for it indirectly? What's
That's right. Well, here's the thing.
Give me some background information. As an HBO enthusiast, I love their programming is worth paying for.
There was a blog written to HBO recently from, I think it's MG Ziegler, who wrote this blog post. It could have been him or Paris. I think it was MG who wrote it. Anyway, it's filled with curse words and everything else. So I didn't want to share it because, again, I don't want someone to get it that shouldn't see it. But
I understand. Baby, turn your web radio down.
Exactly.
I get that. So what was the gist?
So
of the
gist
post
of it was this. He said, "Look, HBO, Netflix is gunning for you." Right, they are at $7 a pop. You can watch videos right there from your devices, and they're gonna walk you guys down. You guys, HBO, need to go ahead and disconnect HBO Go from the cable company and let us buy HBO Go directly.
That is I understand, and you know, the answer for me in the long and short of it is yes. Right now, HBO has yet to cut a deal with Time Warner Cable, who is a behemoth. I mean, you know, they are basically the guy that run that through which HBO is distributed in this area and surrounding areas, which is to say, because Time Warner has not yet played ball with HBO for the HBO Go service, I can't even get there indirectly. If I could go directly to get HBO as a subscriber, I would. In fact, I might very well cut my Time Warner loose over that. Depending on the quality of the programming, once I push it from my computer into my television, I might very well do that, because most of the rest of the stuff that I watch on cable is on the internet. Jon Stewart, for instance, I pretty much got that on demand on the web, and you know. But HBO would be that one. It is in essence worth the money that I pay for it. And if I could get it elsewhere, so that I could get it on my through my networking devices, I would have to, depending on the price point, like anything else, and the quality of the service, that would something I would have to seriously consider, because my cable bill is substantial.
Well, I think what this particular blogger said is that he would pay up to, I think, $19 for this kind of stuff. And again, we're talking about HBO Go, where you can not only get what's out there now, but I think you even have a library of some older shows and movies that you can watch. Like, for example, if I'm not mistaken, isn't Boardwalk Empire Boardwalk? Isn't that on
Boardwalk Empire? Is HBO?
Is on HBO?
Yes, absolutely.
So those kind of
Steve
shows.
Buscemi. It's by the way, yeah, Tim, you're right. It was worth being patient. Yeah, I was the first couple of episodes, being that Nucky, the Steve Buscemi character, he wasn't so highly prominent. I was it took me a second, but to get into the groove with these new characters and these new plot twists. But now I'm all on it.
All right, Tim Arthur's chiming in. Let me bring him on. Hey, Tim.
Holla, man.
Hey, so I wanted to kind of chime in real quick about how this works with the cable companies, because I used to work for them, and I know a lot about the pricing models that they use.
Oh, do tell.
When they price out the services for their subscribers, they have to work a deal with HBO, okay? And there's a fine line between what they can charge their subscribers and what they're willing to pay for it, okay? The big problem right now is the cable companies don't want HBO to go a la carte to people that don't subscribe to cable, because they then feel that people are going to subscribe to cable less, and they will have to raise those premium channel prices for their subscribers, and they can potentially see that subscriber base go down.
And my willingness to do that indicates that very thing. I would very seriously. You're right. I would very seriously. They are right. I would very seriously consider.
So that's the problem, and actually,
if not for my internet access,
Time Warner Cable subscribers now do have access to the HBO Go as of this week.
Really?
Yes.
You the man. So I don't have to pay anything extra. I can just log in and hook it up.
I believe that is the case.
Hot diggity dog.
Yeah.
But you could save 15% by switching to HBO Go only if you get rid of your cable.
Because I would subscribe to HBO. That was my main issue in terms of paying for digital cable. I didn't watch 3/4 of the programming. I was interested in seeing, Boardwalk Empire.
You're just like Damond in that way, man. I don't care about the stuff that I'm not watching. I'm paying for the stuff that I do.
Exactly.
And the cable companies do not want that, because the a la carte model does not work for cable companies. And
why is that?
Actually, it does not work for subscribers.
What makes you say that?
Okay, because let's say ESPN. Okay, they bundle ESPN with a package of channels. Okay, so
the
per channel cost for the cable company goes down.
Hold it, wait. Let me wrap my head around that for a second. The per channel cost for the cable company goes down in the presence.
Because ESPN needs to guarantee a certain number of eyeballs for their advertisers.
Of course, it all comes back to the advertisement.
Wants to bundle 15 channels in a package, saying to those advertisers, look, 90% of our subscribers will have this package, this number of eyeballs. That translates into how much the cable companies themselves can charge
for the advertising. Of course, I get it now.
That gives the cable company leverage in keeping that price down. That's where the price increases every year comes from. They have to constantly go back to Viacom and to ESPN and all these networks and renegotiate
60 seconds.
pricing terms.
Oh, that's right, because they have threatened on a couple of occasions and put out big old fluffy advertising campaigns in order to call ESPN and tell them not to play hardball with the cable company so we can keep your channels. And
So if you
that's what that was all about.
If you break the packages up, then you can't guarantee ESPN 90% of your viewers.
Well, let that be the last comment real quick. I got to run out of here, but thank you, Tim Arthur, for sharing that input.
Indeed.
Maybe we can take this online. But let me thank you all, Alan Tran, Black Bones, DB Funky, Dyslexic in America, Eagle Win, Eileen Smith, Tim Arthur, and all of you listening live in archive. Thanks for hanging out with us today.
Thank you.
Don't forget, you can catch us every Monday through Friday right here at 1 p.m. on blogtalkradio.com/Damond Nollan. Don't forget to, follow us.
10 seconds.
And we will see you guys online. Until next time. And then because Mike's not here, I'll let you do it.
Get back to work. Stay funky, my friends, and deuces.